there, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Prime HGSS, and today I am going to be going over Regidrago VStar. Regidrago's been out for some time now, and it's always been kind of on the verge of being good. It felt like it was always lacking something, and with the release of Twilight Masquerade, it seems that Teal Mask Ogrepon is what it was lacking. Ogrepon, along with Energy Switch, provides a reliable source of energy acceleration for Regidrago, which it hasn't had. Gardenia's Vigor was the next best thing, but it wasn't reliable enough to consistently streamline Regidrago's attacks. But with Ogrepon and Energy Switch, it's become much easier, making this deck a powerhouse. So, if you don't know what Regidrago does, its attack for 2 grass and a fire energy, you can choose the attack of a dragon Pokemon in your discard pile. So your objective is to get dragon Pokemon in the discard pile to use specific attacks depending on the situation. Its ability, Legacy Star, lets you discard the top 7 cards of your deck, choose 2, put them in your hand. This is good for a multitude of reasons. It helps you get those attackers discarded, as well as recycle resources like your energy switches, like your prime catcher, or anything you might need to get your combo going and up and running. So the attackers that we're going to be using, probably the best one that we have is Dragon Pulse EX. Dragon Pulse Phantom Dive can kind of wreck house on setup decks if you get it going fast enough, which this deck has the tendency to be able to do. So that's why I play 2 of these, because prizing one would kind of suck considering this is kind of your main attacker through Regidrago. Next, I play a Giratina V just to have the shred option. Without it, a Mimikyu can kind of... You can't really deal with a Mimikyu, plain and simple. So that's why I have a Giratina V in here. Gudra, one of the better attackers in this deck. Rolling Iron, 200 is just a solid number, especially if you combine it with like a boss. You can KO something like Lumineon or Squawkabilly, or just clean up a knockout. And the damage reduction that comes along with it, you take 80 less, which in turn will make it harder for them to return the knockout. So that's why Gudra's in here. Raging Bolt is just your nuke option, your nuke button. Usually, this deck doesn't want to go aggressive with Bellowing Thunder. It's something you kind of want to end the game with. So that's why Raging Bolt's in here. And then we are going to move on to the supporters for research. Draw, get your attackers discarded. Pretty cut and dry there. 2 Iono. It's another draw supporter, but just in general, you need to be able to keep your opponent's hand in check. An Iono combined with a Rolling Thunder, making it difficult for them to return a knockout, can buy you the turn that you need to then win the game. Because usually when you do Rolling Iron, they want to boss around it or gust around it, and Iono can prevent them from doing that. And then we have 3 bosses orders. You kind of just want to be able to pick off your targets. It gives you more control over the board, combined with your multitude of attacks. You do also run the risk of discarding them with that Legacy Star VStar, and you'll usually use that the VStar ability to recycle other resources. You usually want to get boss back with it. So 3 kind of gives you some wiggle room to comfortably discard 1 and still have 2 to win games. And then 1 Turo scenario. Usually let's play Penny. Penny is basically for... Yeah, if you notice, I didn't play Noivern. I'm trying it without Noivern right now. I played a handful of games where I never, ever, ever had the option to use it, and I wanted to fit other things, like the Giratina V, which I didn't have in the list originally. The idea with that is you played Penny so that you could try and clear your board, maybe only have 1 bench, get the matchups that it's for, get Regidrago up and running, and then Penny up your 1 Ogrepon that you use for the energy acceleration, and then wall them for the rest of the game. Since I'm not playing Noivern, I'm giving Turo Scenario a try, because it also gives you the option to pick up a Regidrago and prevent them from taking a knockout, kind of making Regidrago a little bit of a tank. It's also in there in case you do start your basic dragon attackers like Raging Bolt or Giratina V, so you can pick it up and then get a discard it to then use its attacks. So that's why I'm giving Turo Scenario a try. Onto your items for energy switch. It's what gets your attacks up and going. This combined with Ogerpon is your main energy acceleration. Then for Nest Ball gets your Regis down, gets your Ogerpons down, pretty self-explanatory. Same with Ultra Ball, just more search, gets your attackers discarded. And then we got 3 Earthen Vessel. You want to find those grass energy to attach and draw, as well as your fire energy, because Regidrago needs them to attack, and this is just the most consistent way to find them, as well as helps you with discarding your attackers. And then we got 2 Superior Energy Retrieval. I love this card. It helps you finish out games with Bellowing Thunder a lot easier. So that's why 2 of these are in here. Again, also can... You usually want your attackers discarded by the point that you're going to use this, but again, it's just another discarded resource. 1 switch, just a pivot. The only reliable retreater you have, or free retreater you have in your Cleffa. You want to conserve your energy on the board. It's just pivot while conserving energy. And then last but not least, Prime Catcher. Ace Spec of choice. You're an aggressive deck. You want to be aggressive. Prime Catcher is the best Ace Spec for aggression. Rounding it out, Grass Energy, we got 9. Fire Energy, we got 3. So we will jump into a game with this. And hopefully I'll be able to show you how it plays out. Usually this deck wants to go first. You just want to go first, get down a Drago, turn 2, start attacking. Going second, you're probably not getting an attack off unless you are going. You can, but it's something you only want to go for if you're donking them or knocking out something crucial. So we got a mulligan here. Alright, we can work with this. If this is just Great Tusk Mill, this is a horrendous matchup for us. But if it is Ancient Box, it looks like it's Ancient Box. But this can be a problem. Our deck runs very thin, very fast. They didn't do much that turn, luckily. So we'll get a Teal Dance. There's high odds they are not going to be knocking out our Drago, so I think we're safe to energy switch to it before we research here. Let's Teal Dance. Hopefully we can draw into a Pokemon that we can discard. And we did not. So we'll attach here. I will just go ahead and use this Celestial Roar. This actually might just be... So since it feels like we're looking at Great Tusk Mill, I want to just start trying to take multiple prizes with Dragapult. I don't want to run too thin. But I'd be lying if I said that this isn't probably the worst matchup for us. I can't imagine they're going to be taking knockouts unless they do play the baby moons. I don't see a reason to bench this. It is rough because we are going to have to research again. I'm going to attach the energy there. I don't want to draw more because I want to prevent myself. I just don't. The more you draw, the faster you're going to lose to that land collapse. But the energy there makes it so that I can pivot them in case they try to gust one up and stall in the active. So we'll get this Dragapult. We need to just get up and attacking. I have no reason to use Legacy Star right now, so I'm not going to. And we will Apex Dragon. You copying Phantom Dive. And I'm just going to put... I'm just going to start stacking the damage on Greninja because I'm one-shotting the Great Tusks anyways. And now we're looking to play very minimalist from here on out. We do luckily still have our Iono. But we are on a clock right now. I think the game plan here is just take knockout, spread damage, take knockout, spread damage. And hopefully make it hard for them to streamline Great Tusk's attacks. I'm going to ignore this Pidgeot. Let's just go ahead with Apex Dragon. Phantom Dive. I'll put 3 here. 1 here. Puts it in knockout range. And then I'll put 2 here. Kind of force them to shuffle it away. Odds are they're going to. It's kind of irrelevant. But if they don't, I believe we are out of our boss's orders, which is very unfortunate. I'm luckily they did not mill our Iono because there's gonna come a turn where I'm gonna want to Iono to save myself a milling from decking out. Luckily they didn't have another Great Tusk, which means they're gonna have to find that. They're gonna have to find Asada. That's rough. But it takes a lot for it to get to that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're not. Lipard. They're cooking. Luckily at this point, Apex Dragon or Phantom Dive knocks out everything in their deck, so it doesn't matter if they retreat or not. We are going to be taking 2 prizes on our next turn. But it is unfortunate that we are out all of our boss's orders and can't take out that Pidgeot. If they don't, doesn't matter. They were gonna shuffle. They were always gonna shuffle it away. Since they are going to be knocking us out next turn, I do need to start setting him up. They're not milling anymore, which I think we're fine doing here. I am going to take a double knockout right now, and then on the next turn, we'll have to piece together a play from there. We will get rid of their Pokestop. I don't plan to ever be using it. I think that's fine. I could, however, get rid of this so that next turn I don't have to go to the Greninja right now. I think this is the better play because then I can take a knockout here and on Fluttermane, and then next turn take my last two prizes with the Greninja. So we can just go ahead, Apex Dragon. I'm going to take out the Fluttermane. All 6 can go here. Now, what could have messed that up if they promoted Greninja and had Switch Cart and healed, but it doesn't look like they could have Penny. They could play Penny and pick it up, but if they play Penny, that means they're not playing Professor Sada, which means they're not attacking this turn. So my game plan now is to, if he's going to knock this Drago out, I'm going to evolve this one, Legacy Star, for my energy switch back, and then close out the game with that. So looks like we have it here, right? We definitely have 2 energy switch in here. Perfect. We can attach there. We're just going to go ahead, use that Legacy Star. Grabbing energy switch. There we go. And they concede. So you see the power of getting a quick Drago out. This matchup was very scary if they were able to keep streamlining the Great Tusks. But because they weren't able to, we were able to capitalize, take those multiple prize knockouts against a 1 prize deck. So yeah, if you liked the video, that is Regidrago. I do stream on Twitch, if you want to go give that a follow, twitch.tv prime HGSSCCG. So go check that out. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to make more videos. And until next time, thanks for watching, guys.